Hello everyone, Mr. Alberto 23 here, and today I'm going to be going over a very in-depth tutorial on the Beedle Superswim. So this Superswim is required to get off of the Forest Haven Island because Beedle's barrel is the only slope that enters the water. And so to start off, I want to just show you that this barrel actually does not work in its initial position because you actually will just fall if you try to enter the water because the barrel's not completely submerged. It's like a little drop off. So to get Beedle into the correct position where we can actually swim off the barrel, we're gonna have to move him first. So to move him, we're gonna have to move away enough so that he actually starts moving, and then quickly move back. So you want to kind of time it. It's about half a second. You want to go far enough away, is like kind of towards this mailbox, and wait, and then go back. So now I know it's correct if I can see that the edge of this barrel is touching this corner. Now you can see it's a little past it, but that's still fine. Just make sure that it's not behind it, or else it will not work. And so, now this will work, but it's going to be slightly more difficult, because the further Beedle ship is, the smaller the area we can charge against, because this starts becoming more submerged. And so if we go too far to the right, we'll actually swim. And so if Beedle is far enough, it just doesn't work, because all of the barrel is submerged, and you can't swim against any of it. You can't, can't item slide, right? Because you have to item slide against this part right here, and then move yourself to the side and then enter the water. So this swim is quite difficult. Let me go over all the reasons why. First of all, this is a really small barrel to charge against. When I'm charging in this barrel, I've got the really, really small area to work against. And so I like to use Gyro to help. So Gyro Aiming is the motion control in this game. And so I'm actually moving the gamepad. The controller itself, and it senses where the controller, is facing, so I can actually use that to aim. And that's really, really nice for aiming. It makes aiming really, really useful. So I can actually use that to steer myself. If I just keep holding the same down ESS, if I see myself move too far to the right, I can quickly go to the left. And then, if I go too far to the left, I can just quickly adjust it and go to the right. So it actually really, really helps with steering against this barrel. So I do recommend using gyro aiming if you have the option. But if you don't use gyro aiming, I do find it pretty hard. But yeah, you're going to have to be very good with controlling Link with an item slide and having very good control over your thumb. So, what's another reason why this swim is really annoying? You see how the barrel is actually moving up and down? This slope that we're actually getting into the water sometimes does not lead into the water. So now, you can see it. Now it leads into water. Now if we try to enter the water, we'd sploosh. And so splooshing is a problem because, if you hit a drop-off, you'll just lose all your speed. And you just, you lose all your speed and you won't super swim. So, how do we prevent that? There is actually a way. When Link is actually on the edge of the boat, he weighs it down, and then actually moves it down. And so, that actually allows you to super swim because it will always weigh down the barrel to the point that it will make a slope. So, how do we make sure that the boat has sunk enough? You have to enter the water very, very slowly. Like, very, very, very slowly. Just be very careful how quickly you enter the water. Because if you enter the water too quickly, the barrel will... It depends. If you enter the water really quickly, if the barrel was already down, you'll be fine. You'll enter the water. But let's say you enter the water really quickly and the barrel was up, then you'll sploosh. But I promise that if you enter the water slowly enough, it will never sploosh you. Because the barrel will have time to tilt so that you'll enter the water without splooshing. So, it's really annoying how slow you have to enter the water. And sometimes, for some reason, the barrel will pop you back up and you'll enter the water multiple times. And that's annoying because then you'll lose a bunch of speed because every time you enter the water, you lose a little bit of speed. Actually, a lot of speed. It's like a big proportion of your speed. So, you gotta be careful not to enter the water too slowly. Though, most of the time, people are entering the water too quickly is what I've noticed. And there's one other thing that's really, really annoying about this swim, and it's actually probably the most annoying thing, is that for some reason, when you're doing this swim, you'll clip if you try to do it the way you do normal other swims. So normally when you do a swim, you'll charge an item slide, and then as soon as you have enough speed, you'll pull Skull Hammer, or you'll press target, or you'll pull bombs. And you'll run backwards like this, and then you'll slowly enter the water, right? Because if you enter the water too quickly, you'll fall, right? That does not work for this, unfortunately. So here's what happens if you try to do that. So let's say I try to do that. I charge a bunch of speed, and then I pull a bomb, or a Skull Hammer, or I press target. As soon as I turn around, so I was just holding down. When I turn around and face this direction, I'll clip. So that happens even at regular item slide speed. It happens at pretty low speed. So one way around it is you can get, very low speed and you won't clip. It only happens at higher speeds, but you want a good high speed super swim. So we really don't want to try to go for low speed and then turn Link. So basically we're going to have to do this swim without turning Link. That's the main thing. We don't want Link to face this way. We can allow Link to face this way, or this way. But if he ever faces this way, you are going to clip if you have high speed. If you have like a good high speed super swim. Let me go over all the strategies that are known to get a high speed but not clip. The one way is we can face this way, and then charge, and then try to enter the water while in first person. And so you have to time it, and you want to enter the water slowly enough. But if you have done it correctly, you can get a nice little super swim like that. But it's very difficult because if you enter the water too quickly, you'll sploosh. Enter the water too slowly, you'll you can enter it so late that you have too high speed for this swim. So entering the water slowly while having the correct speed is very difficult, to the point that I see people just enter the water really quickly and just hope the barrel's down, which is inconsistent because if the barrel's up, you'll sploosh. So I actually don't like that strategy. But if you find that it works for you, go for it. But I want to show you other strategies that exist because I do think there are better strategies. I think these are much better. But here's one. This works if you have grapple or if you have bow. So what I like to do is I like to turn to the right. This is one of the strategies you can use. And you have to not wait too long because if you're on Beedle's boat for too long, he'll just start moving. So in order for me to do this tutorial, I'm going to have to move you really quickly, or I'm going to have to go off of the boat while showing it. So we're going to have to turn to the right, and then we're going to item slide to the left while facing to the right, and then when we get enough speed, we hit target and hold target. So what we're doing is we're not turning, right? We're not turning because we're holding target. And then from here, we're going to very slowly enter the water. So what I just did was I effectively I stopped myself from gaining speed when I had enough, and then I could then control myself and very slowly enter the water. Now we can super swim away. So that's one way. However, this method is not foolproof. So just want you to be aware that you can clip, but it's at very high speed you'll clip. It is still technically within the super swimming range. So at very high super swim speeds, you'll just clip. So if I just keep charging, I'll eventually clip, no matter what. So you gotta be careful. So you see where I landed? This is actually speed that I could have super swim with. It's very high speed, but it would have worked. So just make sure for this you don't gain too much speed and you'll be fine. Let me show you another method. So let's say you want to do this, but you don't want to ever risk clipping. You actually have to face this direction. So this direction you can clip, this direction you can't. However, here's the problem. Most of the time we have grapple or bow. You don't get hookshot until way later. So with hookshot this will work because hookshot you actually go to the right when you hit target. So see how I go to the right when I hit target? But with grapple and bow, you actually go to the left. So if I were to charge to the right and I hit target, it would not work. And you cannot super swim that way. But there's a way around it. There's a strategy called the inverted hop. So what you do is you want to pull out the item while holding ZL. So like this. Or you can pull the item and then hold ZL. Either way, you have to hold ZL and be aiming the item. So this does not work. You want to be, with bow it looks like this. And then you want to slide up to the left. And then release ZL midair. So that whenever you land, you'll actually pull out the item. And now, if you do an item slide, you'll actually go to the right when you hit target. And so if you fail it, unfortunately, you have to redo it. So there I just failed it, right? I entered the water too quickly. I had way too low speed. But actually, you have to then do it again. Every time you exit first person, you have to do it again. So there we go. And look, see how I went to the right? And now I can enter the water. And assuming that I don't sploosh, that would be a good swim. But that method does not clip. You literally cannot clip with this method. But yeah, it involves an inverted hop. I like to do it from here, but you can also do it from the barrel. You just have to release target very, very quickly. And then enter water very slowly, and then you can do a super swim from there. So that's a really good super swim speed, and as you can see, that's a very high speed, and I did not clip. Let me show you one other method, but this requires bombs or skull hammer. So you can't do this unless you have bombs or skull hammer. For this, we're actually going to be careful because when we pull the bombs or skull hammer, the angle Link faces we can't actually control. If we want to make sure that the last angle we press target was in this direction right here. That's because whenever you pull bombs or skull hammer, the direction you face is the last direction you hit target. So we actually want to go on the boat and aim towards the island. Like this. And then just tap target. I don't like to face left. I used to like... I like to face this way. This way is pretty good. And then now, whenever I pull skull hammer, you'll see, I'll actually, if I don't press anything on the stick, I'm just aiming towards there. And look, I did not clip. Because my facing angle did not turn this way. So, that's why you gotta make sure you press target while facing this direction first. Because let's say I press target this way, right? I'm gonna just show it here. If I were to, do an item slide, as soon as I pull skull hammer, I'm just pressing neutral. I'm facing the last direction I press target. So again, let me just move the boat back into the correct position, and then I'll show. There's two ways I like to do this. So after we've pressed target while facing the right direction, we want to charge an item slide. Then we have enough speed. One way you can do this is you can actually start moving very slightly to the left, like this, and then release the stick before pulling skull hammer or bomb, and then just hold nothing and just wait for him to enter the water. The reason he'll enter the water so slowly is that you were moving very slowly to the left before pulling the item. So then you could just let him continue in that direction, continue moving in that direction, and then just wait for him to enter the water. But let's say you don't want to try to move very slightly to the left before doing that. You can also just hold target, but again, you got to make sure you release target before you do this. Release the stick. So just wait, and then I can now hold target, and then very slowly steer Link into the water, like this. And then I can get a swim from here. So these are all the strategies that I like to use to get into the water. Now let me show what you do after you've entered the water. So you got to be very cognizant of where Link is facing. Depending on where Link is facing, you got to be very careful. Because let's say, so especially for this one, you got to be careful. Because if I'm facing this direction, right? And I enter the water, if I just hold nothing, Link is going to actually go towards the barrel, like that. They actually, if for some reason, sometimes it doesn't, it's not an issue, but, like in that scenario, it was not an issue, but, sometimes, he'll just go back up on the barrel, and then he'll lose all of his speed, and that's really bad. It's kind of like random whether it works or not, but basically to avoid that from being a problem, you want to turn Link after he enters the water. I think this is not a good position. Let me get a little bit. Okay, there we go. So, let's say I'm facing this way. I want to very quickly turn Link. So I actually want to start holding down, like this, to make him go into this corner. That way, he doesn't go back up on the barrel. So let me show you a very easy, beginner-friendly way to get off the island, but it's pretty slow. You just wait into this corner, wait here, until Beedle's ship moves. See how it moves? Now you can just slide this way, and now you're off. So I like this a lot because you don't have to worry about going back up on the barrel. As long as you wait long enough, the boat will move, and then you can enter the water from there. So that's one strategy. Just make sure you wait long enough, and make sure you're far enough away from the boat. Because if you're like right here, see how the boat's not going to move? I'm right here. See how the boat's not moving? But the boat will stop moving as soon as it's right next to Link. That's why you have to be all the way in the corner. Pretty much. I mean, you can be like right here, I guess it works. But just make sure you're far enough away from the boat. That's why I really like that corner. So that's beginner. It's slow because you have to wait for the boat to move. Let me show you a advanced strategy. So after you've entered the water and you've gained nice control of Link, here's what you like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just do it this way. There we go. I actually like to turn Link and go like right here. So we're going to be holding down ESS, and I turn the camera. So make sure you turn the camera. Depending on which way you're facing, you're going to have to turn the camera. So you're facing, towards the island this way. Now I'm going to pause, then hold up ESS and swim away. And then I'm going to pause again once I'm away. Then I'm going to pause again and then hold down. Now, make sure you don't go back into the boat like this. Make sure you're not going this way, right? You got to make sure you're going to the right of the island. And now you can swim off this way. Now, the reason you want to go to the left is that ice ring is right here. And you'll sploosh. So, that's the general gist of how to get off this island. How to do the Beedle Superswim. I really hope I covered everything. If I did not, please make sure to ask in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please like, comment, or subscribe. And yeah, I really hope this helps someone learn the Beedle Superswim. And that's going to be all for me today. See you next time.